The sister of a Donegal man who was beaten so badly he was left unable to breathe or walk has described his recovery as a miracle after he began speaking last week for the first time. Charles Dooher, a 26-year-old farmer from Lifford, was at home when a masked gang beat him with iron bars and other weapons on January the 20th. He suffered such severe head injuries that he was put on life support in the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast. His father, who is also called Charles, was injured in the attack. Charles is now out of intensive care and able to speak to family and friends. His sister, Deborah Dooher, who is also a nurse, told me she is proud of the strength Charles has shown, but understands he has a long way to go in his recovery.
I can't describe. He just came through, like his whole personality came through. It was like they touched his body, they gave him a chance, and he just ran with it. The determination just came out of him. He began to lift his arms up. He began to move his legs voluntarily, not due to convulsions or seizures. He began to use them of his own accord. He began to wiggle his toes on command. I remember for 2.5 weeks, we waited every day for him to stick out his tongue, and then all of a sudden he stuck out his tongue. He was miming his words. He was walking. He's a miracle. His tracheostomy even, he was being supported to breathe through that, and he came on so well. Usually they'll downsize it from an 8 to 7 to 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 till they take it from you. Where Chaz's recovery was so dramatic, he was able to double downsize each time and was able to have his trachea removed at such a rapid pace. He began to talk immediately after his trachea came out.
And have you spoken to him, Deborah? Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, we spoke to him. Yeah, we speak to him every day. His voice gets stronger every day. It's unbelievable. He doesn't really sound like himself. At the start, he sounded so weak. But the more each day that goes by, each hour that passes, to be honest, his voice gets stronger and stronger, and he gets stronger and stronger, and he becomes less afraid. With each day and each hour that passes, he becomes less afraid, which is nice to see for him.
What has he said to you, if you don't mind just telling us whatever you feel comfortable with?
I suppose when Cha woke, he actually was just, he asked, are we okay? And is everyone safe? And he asked everyone's name of who he loved. Were they safe?
What words, what has Charles said to you?
Charles said to me, he's quite interested in how he's going to be healing journey going forward. He wants to understand what's wrong with him. He wants to know what he had the trachea in for. He wants to know what was wrong with his body and why his head looks like this. We're trying to safeguard him at the moment from everything. To be honest, we're trying to just go softly, gently with him, because he's been through a lot and it's going to take him a wee bit of time to just come around to everything cognitively.
And he was worried about the people that he loved. Is that who he is as a person?
Oh, big time, 100%. See, if he even had a feeling that there was something up with you, he would call. 100%. He would know. He'd know your mood. He'd know by the tone of your voice when you're talking to him. He's very intuitive like that. In particular, he would have a wild worry for his partner Charlotte. If she leaves him at all, he's ringing her. He's actually got a text and everything. He's ringing her on video. He's texting her. He remembers his puppy and he wants to see his puppy. So he FaceTimes his puppy a lot. He's really interested in his recovery and how his life's going to look after this. He's talking about plans for the future. He's also quite concerned. We have sad conversations too at times, where he discusses his future and how his life has been affected and how that might impact his future. So we keep very positive on that and, trying to manifest things that are, in his mind, trying to create a place in his mind where the future is positive and the future is peaceful and the future is safe. Because what I gather from my brother right now is that for the first time in his life, he is afraid.
And what is that like as a sister, Deborah? Because Charles was so badly beaten that a doctor told you it was one of the worst head injuries that he had seen. And, did you think that even he would survive this attack at your very darkest hour? What was going through your head?
When I seen Charles, I thought the initial moment I seen him, I thought I've lost my brother. And then something came to me. I didn't hear it with my ears, but I heard it inside me that said he's going to be okay. I held on to that and I prayed an awful lot on it. I never shook for a moment, to be honest. If I'm being perfectly honest, I never shook for a minute. I had full belief, 100% belief that Charlotte would be okay. Believe you me, I remember trying to encourage my family that was to be the case when we were sat down by the consultant and told, you all come in now and stay with him. And I suppose it was minute by minute, and then it turned into hour by hour, and it stayed hour by hour for weeks. But to be honest, I never wavered. I always believed in him. I had moments of sadness, for sure, and I had moments where I just wanted it to stop for him, and I wanted the suffering to stop, and I wanted God to do it quicker. But God done it in His perfect timing, and when we least expected it, we seen a finger move and a toe wiggle and a tongue stick out, and then it went from that to a miracle.
You see it as a miracle, but you obviously have belief in his strength as well, because his head injuries were so catastrophic, weren't they?
What them guys done to my brother was horrific. They beat through his skull, and whatever demonic presence that's inside the disgusting thing that done that to my brother. Do you imagine having 20 or 30 severe bruises on your actual brain itself? With my brother come through, he shouldn't have survived. Let's be real, he shouldn't have survived, and no one expected him to survive. It was God's work that he survived, and it was Charles's fierce, strong spirit and his want to come back to his family and his absolute full life that he still has ahead of him that he came back for. And he's a sea of love here, I'll tell you. Like his family and Charlotte's family, they adore him, and they watch that poor darling on the bed as if it was one of their own children, and they hurt just like my mommy hurt. Maybe not to the extent that my mommy hurt, but they hurt real sore. Charlotte's friends cried with us, held our hands, supported us. He had so much to love for and so much to come back for.
And just, Deborah, to hear his voice, what was that like?
Oh, it's when we heard the first it's so weak and so fragile and so almost like, oh gosh, I don't know how to describe it. It was so weak. Like
a whisper?
But a struggled whisper. And he went on ahead and he spoke through it and he done his best. And as the hours and days passed, like yesterday morning when he woke and he was talking to me in the morning, I just said, my God Almighty, I said, your voice is so strong, Cha. And he says, oh, do you think so? And I said, yeah. I said, you seem very strong and confident of yourself this morning. And he says, Deborah, I'm feeling really strong and confident today, like. And I was like, that's brilliant, Cha, well done, like, But that's him knowing, like, he's getting better. He goes, I really am feeling better. I feel like I'll pass my swallow test on Monday because he can't swallow, so he's so thirsty, the wee darling, and he's desperate for a drink, and he just can't have anything, like, because it's too dangerous for him right now. It'll go down into his lungs, and he would aspirate and get a bad pneumonia, and that could take him, like. And the last thing we want is for him to come through the wars and for a chest infection to take him. Tomorrow he has a big test, and we're with loads of pair grips praying he'll pass it. And if that's the case, Charles was looking for a big ice cold Pepsi Max to be delivered because that's what he wants.
The small things, Deborah? The small things.
The small things. And then when he was able to have a wee rinse of water, like the poor daddy, he says, that's so good. He says, that's beautiful. He's able to rinse his mouth out with water after he brushes his teeth, like. And
it sounds as if he's made huge leaps in his recovery, but it's still, there's a painful process ahead. So what is the next step for him?
And like, to be honest, like, even though I'm saying that my brother looks strong and confident, like, believe me, he looks strong and confident in comparison to what I seen the day before, because my brother's a 6'4" tank before this, absolute big tank of a man. He's emaciated. He's needing 3,000 calories of energy feed to just maintain his weight, his emaciated weight, never mind his weight prior. Like, he's lost so much of himself through this. Are people safe? Like, it's left us in a very dangerous, compromised situation where we're actually not safe enough to live in our own country anymore, and we're going to have to leave.
You're talking about moving because you fear for your safety.
Absolutely be moving, yeah.
Well, that was Deborah Dooher there speaking about the recovery of her brother Charles. Charles began speaking last week, and as you could hear there from Deborah, just the sheer relief her family feels about those signs of improvement in him. And I do know, and Deborah has told me that she will keep us updated on his progress. So we wish him well. We have also asked the PSNI and Gardaí for an update on the cross-border police investigation. We've received nothing as yet from the PSNI, but in a statement, the Gardaí said investigations are continuing and they have renewed their appeal for witnesses, anyone with information to what happened in January in Lifford at the family home, to come forward and to contact them.